Now, let's head south and to Georgia, where Nikole Killion is at a rally for Herschel Walker, the Republican Senate candidate there in Augusta, Georgia. Nikole, good to see you. I know you've been traveling the Peach State over the last several days to get a sense of how this closely watched and critical Senate contest is going. Set the scene for us there where you are, and I know you've also been talking to some of the football stars' supporters.
Yeah, that's right, Ed. Well, this rally just wrapped up, as you can hear by the music behind me. Herschel Walker is shaking hands with supporters right now. He really hasn't addressed this latest interview from this second accuser in his remarks, other than just generally saying that Democrats are trying to go after him. And, you know, he put out a statement earlier today, once again dismissing this woman's stories as lies. But we have yet to speak to the candidate directly or see if the campaign will even make him available. But that being said, he continues his stump speech. He continues to encourage people to get out there and vote. He continues to draw a contrast between him and his opponent. And in terms of this latest interview from this accuser, we did talk to some Herschel Walker supporters at one of his earlier rallies. Take a listen to what they had to say. You know, does it give you any pause? I mean, again, when you kind of hear these types of stories in the news.
It does. It does give you pause. You have to, you know, think that there is some truth to it. And it's very hard to distinguish sometimes, you know, like I said, how true it is.
So that actually was not a Herschel Walker supporter. That actually was an independent voter that we spoke to here in Augusta. And you'd be pretty impressed by this, Ed, because we met not one, but two independent voters back to back who really honestly haven't made up their mind. That woman told us she was going to wait until Election Day. She's still trying to, you know, figure out who she's going to support. We talked to another man who really was just back and forth between Walker and Senator Warnock and really not sure what to make of these latest allegations that have resurfaced, you know, whether or not it's an attempt to sully Walker's record or whether there's something there. And so for independents who will be crucial in deciding this race, it's clear that at least here in Augusta, some are clearly on the fence.
Which is telling, because that is traditionally, you would think, at least the more Republican part of the state. But if there's still apprehension or concern about Walker at this point, that might signal that his support isn't as strong as they need it to be. Look, you've been there off and on now for several weeks. This is a state that had competitive statewide races in 2014, had them again 2 years ago, back in 2018, of course, as well, when there was the first Brian Kemp-Stacey Abrams matchup. Do you get a sense that the state understands its broader political place and importance right now? Are voters sick and tired and want this over with, or do they understand that there's a lot at stake here beyond just them picking a governor and a senator?
You know, I think it's all of the above. You know, in terms of talking to a Republican voter earlier today, I asked him if he thought Georgia would surprise the country, and he said that he does. He expects this state to flip back to Republican in a week. You know, on the other hand, you have, when you talk to people, for instance, who support Senator Warnock or Stacey Abrams, I mean, in the case of that gubernatorial contest, you know, there are people who want to make history with that race. Obviously, Abrams would be the first African-American governor ever in a state. So, you know, people realize what's at stake. People realize with these contests that the country is watching. They know, for instance, in the Senate race that there's a prospect of the runoff. Certainly, I think it's more the campaigns that don't want it at this point. But, you know, again, with neither candidate at this point able to clear that 50% threshold, it certainly is a very real prospect.
Politics in Georgia in December. It is still a possibility. Nikole Killion there, thank you again.